Morning all. Thank you for joining me in another of my little rambling monologues. I hope I won't be too rambling today. Another week starts if you've tuned in on the day that this goes out. If you've tuned in 2-3 years before or after in the future, welcome. It's always nice to have future travellers. Cheers. There seems to be a bit of a lethargy out there in the world of trying to get things better. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm certainly not lethargic, I can tell you that much. Julia and I are very excited. We're in the process of purchasing a piece of land. We're going to be stepping into much more of the solutions, away from the matrix, as they say, and getting on and doing things instead of just sitting here rambling and talking and worrying about it. But there does seem to be a bit of lethargy out there, and I'm hoping that it's really because people are getting on with things and not worrying about things anymore, that they've gone through that sort of process of going, oh my goodness, nick, 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 chewing their fingernails off and going, oh, the world is in a terrible state, and now have moved on from that. Although when you look at the numbers on YouTube of those people who are sort of putting forward solutions, nobody wants to know because the numbers are very low. And those that are going, oh my God, look what just happened. Oh my God, look what just happened. Oh my God, look what just happened. All of that. And people are going, oh my God, what just happened? And they still seem to want the fear. So many people, you see the numbers, loads of people are fascinated by the rubbish and the fear mongering that, and I've said this so many times, that many of my colleagues are doing. I know they're doing it because they need the money, because they need to be, get the money. The more bums on seats you have, the more money you make on YouTube. Well, I've been demonetized for over 9 months now, so it's not stopped me doing my stuff, but I'm prattling on about the solutions. And one of those for us, for Julia and I, is getting a piece of land, growing our own veg, stepping away from the system and just getting on with life and finding out the meaning of life, really, which for us is to be closer to nature, get our hands in the ground, grow our own fruit and veg, avoid the supermarkets, and at some point maybe have animals, and maybe at some point being able to actually live on that land too. But there's a long journey to do. But you've got to put one foot in front of the other to get on with it. That's what you've got to do. You can't just sit at home going, oh my God, look what they just done, and keep tuning in. Now, I know a lot of people in the freedom and whatever, truth movement, whatever we call this silly space that we're in, real life, I would think would be a better thing, do sit at home, and they continually, instead of turning, they've got rid of their televisions, which is a step, I suppose, but they still tune in to all the other YouTubers who are telling them terrible things, and they're still frightened by that. Instead of concentrating their mind and therefore everything that they create manifest on positive things. It seemed people are just, designed, and I don't think we are designed to worry about things, but we've been captured to be that way, been brainwashed. And the lethargy thing comes from a couple of festivals that Julia and I have been to. We went to the Sounds Beautiful Festival, and the numbers there were really low this year, which was a real shame. And we would just come back from the Girt Dog Festival, or gathering, whatever you want to call it. And again, the numbers, they had all these interesting people giving talks, people leading the way to freedom, truth, and better living and health and all those things. And it seemed that nobody was interested or couldn't be bothered to come. Now, it may be, of course, that people are going, well, I can't keep affording to go to all these things. Everything's expensive now. The cost of living's gone up. And I understand that. And I'm hoping that is the reason that people are saying, well, I can't afford to go there. I don't need to go there because I know all the information. I'm getting on and I'm doing it. And if all those people are actually getting on and doing it and turning their back on the system and getting away from all the nonsense and not funding the government's policies for wars and keeping people down and, all the other sort of nefarious things that they get up to on the sly, then that's great. But there's part of me that suspects that that's not actually the case, that most of the people who are aware of the nonsense are still just sitting in silos, talking about it, worrying about it, fretting, but not actually doing anything. And that's a shame. So, but then I can't do anything about that. All I can do is put my ideas and my opinions, of course, on the channel. But more importantly, and this is what Julia and I are doing, is that we are going to be doing what we believe is necessary for the future, so that we can demonstrate how important it is to be away from the system as much as possible, but getting our hands in the ground, reconnecting with nature, stepping away from the 5G, not drinking the fluoridated water, not watching the mainstream nonsense, pulling children out of school. Julia obviously has done that very commendably, and not funding the government system. In which we can see that it's lying to you on one hand, or treating people very badly. We know about the old age pensioners, if I may call them that, who've had their winter fuel payments. I mean, they've paid into the system for so many years, and then, you know, the Labour government with one fell swoop said, nope, we're taking that from you. You can just be cold in the winter. And I do believe that we are going to be having, or at least everyone's telling me, we're going to be having a cold winter this year. So you better wrap up warm and grab some warm natural fibre coats and things. But one of the other things is we, want to get away from the phones, on the EMFs and all the other bits and pieces that are radiating us. Obviously the pharmaceuticals, we don't bother with any of those. Natural remedies we're looking at and promoting as much as we can, and taking a step back. To me, the last 100 years has been a bit of an experiment in modernisation, in industrialisation, and it turns out that actually allowing people to make these massive corporations where very few people make a lot of money, everybody else is basically a little drone, a tiny little cog in there with their own corporate speak and their own legalese and their own gobbledygook within that is meaningless conversation. In my mind, that whole 100-year period in which before that we had meaningful lives, it seems to me, has been a mistake. That 100-year experiment of turning people and separating people, separating families. No, to me we do have to go back and say, yes, we can take some of the modern technology when it's working for us, not against us, not spying on us, not listening to us, not trapping us, not radiating us, not pulling us into a digital world. That's one thing, where it's beneficial to us, but also reconnecting with our friends and our family and bringing people together in real life, and understanding what is meaningful in life, and not necessarily following that sort of continual upgrading of the trinkets that they dangle in front of you in the adverts and say you cannot be happy unless you have this, and then you've got to upgrade that, and then you've got to upgrade it again, and then there's this that bolts onto it, and there's this that's going to make you happy, and all these wonderful shiny people come over, and you just see that they are really just actors and actresses, and they're very disingenuous, and it's not real, it's all plasticated, it's all artificial. And then of course there's the big beast at the other end of the corner, lurking in there as your friend, the AI, the artificial intelligence. When there is real intelligence of your friends and your family and people that you know and trust, and then there's the beast in the corner, the artificial intelligence that seems to know everything. And so many people are going, oh, I've got this special relationship with artificial intelligence. Just be very careful what that special relationship is doing and how much information you're telling the authorities using that artificial intelligence. I mean, the name says it all, doesn't it? It's artificial, just as digital virtual reality that people seem to be swinging towards in rapid numbers. Not for me, not for me. So if you're feeling a bit lethargic, if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps, if you're feeling a bit unhappy, it may be that you're being radiated, it may be that you're being manipulated, it may be time to get up and turn off all those things and get out the system and get back on the land and do something that really matters. That's my little message today. Thank you so much for watching. I know there will be those that don't give a monkeys about it. That's absolutely fine. I don't care. Cheers, everybody. Take care, and toodle pip for now.